You're listening to the voice of IWA Flip here on Interfed Radio. Welcome to Around the United Nations League Trash Talk Edition. With me in studios, Commissioner Scott Anderson. Commissioner, welcome back.
Hey, here I am again.
Oof.
Thank you.
You know what? It's that kind of a show right now because the UNL Trash Talk, as we mentioned on the Commissioner show, is it matches up with any league's trash talk right now in the association. I mean, it really does. I mean, if you're an angle-based player and you're really looking for characters that are well developed, chiseled out, and I mean, this is definitely the place to come. I mean, I can see these characters. I mean, they cycle in, cycle out. You get these superstars that I call them,
Right.
that just perform at a level that, it's enjoyable, brother. It really is.
Yeah.
I mean,
Without a doubt, I know it's easy to be biased when you're the commissioner, but for my money, we have, most leagues are going to be thrilled if they have 2 or 3 really top-notch, awesome trash talkers. I think we have like 14 top-notch, awesome trash talkers. So, I mean, this is what happens when you have that. You have awesome characters. You have awesome reads. I mean, I mentioned before we started recording, like, this is the kind of stuff that gets me excited. Like, this trash talk as a cycle, as a tour, it's as good as it gets. It's awesome. So, yeah, I'm excited to run this down.
Now, I mean, you did mention in terms of building bridges, I mean, this is one of those trash talk, leagues that has built, bridges from generations. We've mentioned it before in the past where, the collection of people that we have that just is in this league right now is amazing. I mean, oh man, can't say enough about them.
Yeah, and I would say that was something you brought up that I hadn't really thought about. We do have a melting pot of different times and different folks, but we all work well together. So shout out to everybody for doing what they do, because it's, you don't always have that. So it's awesome to have a league where everybody is super cool, even though we're from, kind of different areas, so to speak.
Oh yeah. Now, we call it the A side. You call it the A side. I think it's safe to call it that. Within the bulletin, there is some trash talk. Because of the size of the, or the amount of trash talk that gets submitted to the, UNL. Some of it has to be placed in different places to make room. So,
correct.
So I'm over here and I'm watching Solomon's response to the trash talk. He wasn't too happy. He wasn't too happy, man.
Well, yeah. Well, and I just think it was an excellent response, because Tembatsu kind of, was a little like dismissive, a little tongue in cheek. He's like, "I'll beat your JV, right?" And then I'll get to Solomon or to Ezekiel Crane. And Solomon's like, "Here I thought I was going to be, like facing another warrior, and you hit me up with this funny business."
Yeah, the tone I thought was, you could see that tone in the character. You'd be like, you know what? I put this challenge in front of you, thinking you were a warrior, and
Right.
Now you're gonna, just no. So yeah, yeah. This is one of those, like you said, that just it keeps adding to that. I mean, I'm curious to see if Tongamang is it Tongamang? Yes, right.
Well, he's Tembatsu.
Timbatsu. Shoot. Oh, that was it. That's what it was. It was Timbatsu was the one that called him the JV. You're right.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. But I mean, just seeing him in the gym training. So yeah, building up.
He looks pretty
character.
chiseled there. He looks like he's got abs where I don't have places. So, like.
But we are all Ezekiel Crane, and it looks like Ezekiel Crane continues to develop this plan, which, I mean, we mentioned it last cycle in terms of him picking his associate, right? And then
Right. Uh,
things didn't work things didn't work out that well for him.
well, we'll see how things went at the Rumble. Uh, but going into the Rumble, he was very confident. He's very confident that he and his associates are going to win the World Tag Shuffle. He does talk about, of course, the Masked Man here, who has been the proverbial thorn in his side. So,
you know what? I think it's CC DeVille. It has to be. I mean, he's trying to take that belt from him. It's coming down too close, and as we've known Poison to be kind of sneaky. So
we've known them to mask up before.
Yeah, something's up.
I would CC is a prime suspect for sure.
And he's on his A game. He's like I said, one of those top ranked fighters right now. Yeah, shout out CC. Don't beat me up again.
We love you, CC. Don't beat us up.
CC. Oh man.
Yeah. And then go ahead.
Oh yeah, no, I mean, is this going to continue? I mean, his trash talk is just.
Are we talking about Philippe Rousseau right now?
Yeah, man. I mean.
Yeah. Okay, so if I may, not to, it would be like if all the trash talk was an A, and this is like an A plus, right? Yeah. And then there's one later that I think is like the rogue scholar of trash talk that we'll talk about, okay? But the Russo and Martin trash talks, if you haven't read them yet, make sure I highly encourage you to read them before Tuesday. These are excellent trash talks. Rousseau, he shows off his league title. He's still looking to fight for the international title. He's confident, but he's not, snarky. He's going to continue to let his talent speak volumes, and it is obvious by the time he leaves that he has become very popular with the fans. They were cheering pretty loudly. So what I would mention, out of character is if you're a heel, if you're a bad guy in the UNL, Philippe Rousseau would be an excellent challenge to go for. We need Philippe and Martin both in some feuds because he's hitting it out of the park. And so that's who I want to work with. I want to work with people who are putting good stuff out.
I think I've mentioned it before with him. I mean, just the way they add relevancy to the commissioner's titles throughout all their trash talk, the way they just bring it home. I mean, it's just. I mean, shout out to one of my favorite, like I mentioned the last time, is Antoine Martin, who's again just.
He's pretty dastardly. He comes out. He is not nice. He is insulting the Fort Myers crowd.
He called his shot.
Calls out Valen Aria, which is not nice.
Well, hey, I mean, Valen isn't,
Valen's not so nice himself.
Valen's not so nice, so maybe they're picking on it, but yeah, I think just the attitude, man, is just beautiful. I mean, exactly like you said, there's no way you can, you're not going to ever see anybody really cheer for him unless you're nasty, you know,
because he is the BMF of the league. So, and anybody who doesn't know what BMF is,
yeah,
you can look it up.
Don't Google it. Don't Google it on your. Not at work. Not at work.
It's not for PG. It's not for PG podcasts. Okay.
Right.
But you could probably piece it together. And he's walking tall right now. So if you're a good guy in the UNL and you're looking for somebody to call out and say, hey, I don't appreciate the way you're talking to our fans.
That's not nice. I don't
appreciate that's not nice. He is calling out a few people though himself. So, obviously Valen Aria. Another thing that he does that I also try and do is he bolds the names, which is helpful. So thank you for that. He got Bill the Butcher to tap out, and that's how he won Global Tournament 26. And he talks about still shooting for the Can-Am title. So CC, if you get past Ezekiel Crane, you might be looking at Antoine Martin. So he's coming.
Watch out, CC. Now,
watch out. And I do want to say he asked for a pay-per-view match here. Unfortunately, the pay-per-view is in cycle 32. So certainly I would love to put the Canadian Crippler on the pay-per-view for the Global's Greatest. He is already in the main event match. He's in the gauntlet match, but I'd be more than happy to throw him on in a singles match against somebody if anybody's willing to step up and face him.
Oh yeah. Now I know last time we were kind of throwing some hints and suggestions, so it was. I'm curious to see what happens these next couple of cycles because it's coming. So heads up.
Well, and now we're in the like immediate post pay-per-view phase where it's like which feuds are gonna carry on, which and it's this idea of which feuds have enough life to like go another 5 cycles, and which feuds are we ready to move on from. So there's a lot of shuffling right now, right?
Oh yeah,
and there's a lot of opportunity for new feuds. So if you were in a pay-per-view match and you kind of concluded that, time to start looking for the next person.
I think one that we know has enough fire and enough fuel burning that isn't gonna dwindle anytime soon is this Dead Rabbits and Quick Hill feud.
You got that right.
Yeah,
they had their first match at the pay-per-view in their best of 7. So the Dead Rabbits say that they don't think it's going to go the full 7, which, is fair to say. It could easily, I think it's going to be very competitive, but they have enough belief in themselves. They don't think it's going to go the full 7. If it does go to a 7th and final match, that 7th and final match will be at Global's Greatest.
Oh, nice.
So we haven't really talked about what happens if they have a draw.
Huh.
I would leave it up to the managers to decide that. I would say if they have a draw, then it's a draw and they, go on to another cycle. But that's their call. If we have a draw, I'll get with both of them and we'll talk about it.
Nice. Now, unfortunately, one of their predictions didn't come through because
they did not win the Rumble.
No, and to add injury to insult, Quick Hill won it.
Yes. Like to make it worse. Like not only did you not win, but your sworn enemy won.
Dang.
Yeah, that's salt in the wound there.
Yeah.
I do want to say that Walter Monk McGinn dropped one of my favorite lines in any movie ever, and he says on a long enough timeline, the survival rate for everyone drops to 0. If you know what that's from, put it in the comments. I know what it's from. I recognize it right away. It's one of my favorite all-time movies. And whenever anybody mentions something that I can put that line into, I definitely do. Sometimes I cut it short and I go, on a long enough timeline, If
nice.
somebody goes, well, I guess this is the end for me. On a long enough timeline.
Nice. I'm not gonna pretend to know where it's from, but I will look it up.
That's okay.
I will look it up.
Yes.
Now, we were hoping for this, the return of Art Deco.
Yes. Well, this isn't Art Deco's trash talk, although we do see him return later on. But this is Matt Peters.
What?
Right?
No way.
Matt Peters is running late.
Wait a minute.
He was talking to Art Deco.
Someone's talking to Art Deco outside. What?
It sounds like maybe Matt Peters got caught and had to talk to Art Deco and finally got away.
Oh, dude.
But, so we have this press conference with the Masked Man. I was kind of surprised that the Masked Man would do a press conference. It seems kind of risky, but he's pretty confident in himself, I guess. But the first question, they ask if he was jealous of Ezekiel Crane.
No. CC DeVille has blonde hair. Why would he be jealous of Ezekiel Crane?
So you are correct, sir, in that the Masked Man said he was not jealous of a purple suit wearing POS liar.
What?
Yep.
No.
And he also says that he's running his mouth like a little B word. And the IWA printed that B word. So
dun,
I'm
dun,
like, this
dun.
isn't the L&L. Why are they printing that?
Oh my goodness.
But they did.
Darn it.
Slipped by the editor. That's all right.
You know what? That's what happens with when IWA flip and company sends the trash talk on Tuesday morning at 10:00 a.m. Just put it in press.
Just put it in there.
Ah.
That's our Vince voices, I think. It was me, Austin. He says that when he beats Ezekiel, or when he beats Thomas Escobar, it's not a question of if, it's when. He claims that he's gonna break Ezekiel Crane's jaw so that he can't spew any more of his, lies. So, good luck.
Dun.
Yeah.
Can't wait to see what transpired.
No doubt. So our next one also includes the associates, with CC DeVille and Akbar saying that they are definitely gonna take care of the associates, but that's gonna have to wait because first up is Quick Kill Inc. and Naul and Valen at the Rumble. So the quick backstory to that is that Poison attacked Naul, beat him up, dragged him out to the ring, and so then Naul needed a tag partner, and he said he would face him 1-on-2, right? But that didn't come to fruition. He teamed up with Val and Arya to face them at the Rumble. So now that has taken place, it sounds like Poison may be coming for the associates.
You know what? They asked for it. I mean, hey, you get money to hurt people, and sometimes you hurt the wrong people.
Ooh, sometimes you take the money and bite off more than you can chew, right?
Yep. So, but we'll see what happens there. Like I said, a lot going on with those associates, and I just hope they.
No doubt. 106, 107, I think, right?
Yes, sir. There's that. It could be good, could be bad. 106, 107. You never know.
For all your tag teaming needs.
Oh man, yeah, they asked for it. They asked for it.
No doubt.
Oh
man.
Now here we are somewhere in Iowa.
Yes. Okay, so I mentioned earlier, right, that if everyone had an A and the Rousseau Martin was an A+, we have one that's a Rogue Scholar. This Trash Talk may win my Trash Talk of the Year award.
Ooh, nice.
This Trash Talk is phenomenal. So shout out to the manager of the Joneses, because it would be very easy for those two characters to be, what do you want to say, like not taken seriously?
Yes.
To be very like caricature, goofy, characters. And they're not. This is really well written, and it's very entertaining to read. I highly encourage everybody to check it out if you haven't already. He does take a shot at a certain manager in the opening paragraph.
I saw that. Yeah,
we will
not mention.
I will admit, made me chuckle. I did laugh. So kudos for that. And then we have a dinner with Brody and Archie with Brody's mom and dad. And first there's a little confusion when they say that they're partners, and the mom is not super thrilled. Apparently mom is not very progressive. But they finally convince mom that they're wrestling partners, pro wrestling partners. But kind of to my surprise, his mom and dad are not proud of their success. They really kind of run Brody down here, And kind of the picture that we had started to form of Brody is that he's kind of this, aloof, kind of, doesn't take anything seriously. But you get a kind of a deeper picture of him here that, these are his parents. This is who he dealt with, and they're not proud of him for all that he's done here.
I think the best one I liked was Dad. Like, you invite us here to brag about your success as a stuntman that you get all oiled up and slam other guys. I'm like, oh my goodness. Oh, he did it. Oh, nice.
There's a lot. Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
I think the line that I really thought was hilarious is the dad says something like, you're going out there using our family name, and Archie goes, don't worry, sir, it's everyone's name.
Oh, no.
Because Jones is such a common last name. Like, don't worry, sir, it's everyone's name.
Oh, nice.
Oh man. But it's very, I don't want to sound like I'm gushing over it, but it's just so well written. So hopefully we see more of that.
Oh, yes.
But they're leaving the kerfuffle, which is one of my favorite words, and I didn't know anyone besides me and my mom used it. So kudos for kerfuffle. And then they talk about going to go win the Rumble. Not that I'm picking sides, but it would have been, among several others, one of the Joneses winning would have been a very cool story setup, but that's okay.
Oh, nice.
Congratulations to the Hitman. He earned it.
He did. Yeah.
So, before we go to our next stuff, I do want to just mention, not as a calling out, but as a I noticed and I miss you, was the Associates. We didn't have any trash talk from Mike Mason and Masanobu. I definitely want them to know that I noticed. And we had no trash talk from Sugar High, and I definitely noticed that also. So hopefully we see some trash talk from all three of those managers and all six of those wrestlers in Cycle 33, because they all do tremendous stuff.
Guaranteed.
So just as a we miss you and I hope to see you back. But our next trash talk does include your good buddy Art Deco.
Yes.
I mean, this is another one where
it was. I was glad to see him, mentioned elsewhere, and that's just,
I love
awesome.
I love the I don't want to call them throwaways, but I love the little mentions, the little inclusions.
Yes.
The little inclusions are nice, and anytime you get one of those that fits and makes sense, it's very good. So
it keeps, especially like I think we've mentioned it before, is when because this is our little realm, our little bubble. When people use the characters within their, or use the the imaginary manager within their character.
Right.
Keep them to their persona is awesome. Yeah.
Right.
You can easily,
it's a way to let other people know. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, no, you can easily just completely mess somebody's character up, and then you're like, nah, you didn't do that. Come on.
Yeah. It is possible. I do think it's just another good little way to let people know that you're reading their stuff, right? Like the Masked Man's not in a feud with Double Dutch, right?
Right.
But now Jake knows that somebody's enjoying his stuff. So it's nice to get those little mentions. But this is another one that I think could have had really cool story implications going forward. Jacob and TVB and Deco are talking about the Rumble, and they asked TVB, "What would you do if you won?" He says, "I'd retire. I'd go in the Hall of Fame." And he's like, "What? Yeah." It's like, "But what would you do then?" And TVB says, "I'd be the manager." But
nice.
What would Deco do? And he's like, "Well, you would start wrestling." And just the notion and possibility that Art Deco could be a wrestler in the UNL, like
Yes.
that could be hysterical.
Yes.
So obviously it's not meant to be right now, because TBB did not win and therefore did not retire to the IWA Hall of Fame.
Oh,
But it is a fun consideration and made for a very enjoyable trash talk.
oh yes. I would have loved to have seen Art Deco strap up the boots. Just to
My
see what
favorite
kind just to see what kind of boots he would strap up. Just to
no
see
doubt, like they would be brightly colored, I imagine.
Yes.
And when you look at the top, I don't know if you're like me, you didn't really catch what it was at first, but it's AARP,
The
and like
retirement.
yeah, like what? Oh yeah, no, it's good stuff.
Oh yeah. Speaking of someone that's not going to retire till he dies in the ring, Valinaria. All right.
That I think that's actually what Valinaria has written in his will. Like that's where I want to go. Bury me in the ring.
Just let me die in peace.
Arya, you'd stink up and I'd die in the ring. Bury the ring with me. Bury me in a ring. That's gonna cost a lot. I don't care. I don't know why he talks like Batman, but so Valen definitely takes his wrestling seriously.
And he seems he has a lot of his eyes focused in a lot of places right now.
It seems like he has to now. He's the United Nations champion, and he's a part of Quick Kill Inc. now. So once and not for nothing, when he was with Noble House hasn't been around. Shout out to Noble House. Oh my gosh, that would be like the greatest summer gift ever.
Oh,
Is if we somehow saw Noble House come back. I miss it. I miss you, and I miss Noble House. Be down or get put down. If suddenly Noble House came back and they put Valinaria down, I would freaking scream out in joy.
but yes, I would definitely love to see that. I would pay to see that. Pay to see that. Come on, Noble House.
Valen has teamed up with his old friend Naul, and so he is now a part of Quick Kill Inc. And so everything that comes with that, the potential issues with the associates, the potential issue with the dead rabbits. Obviously, Naul had the issue with poison that Valen is helping out with.
You know what, Valen? I'm gonna make your dream come true. I'm gonna pay an extra $1, and I'm gonna send the Noble House a bulletin with a "Please come back." Watch, I'm just to send him a bulletin his way.
That is an excellent idea.
So he can come back and beat you up, brother.
Please come back.
Come back, Noble House. We miss you. But yeah, I'll buy that for $1. I'll buy $1.
No doubt. Noble House is maybe my favorite IWA group.
Yeah,
I love
fun,
Noble
man.
House. I freaking love Noble House.
Oh yeah, I won't even get into the backstory of my adventures with Noble House because. Oh yeah,
I would love to hear that sometime.
Oh yeah,
not right now and not on air, but I would love to hear it.
Oh yeah, we had some fun. Yeah.
Noble House kicked my butt a few times. and we had quick sidebar. We had maybe like, I don't know, 3 to 5 pay-per-view matches in the IWL. And every time I'm like, I want them to look. I just wanted him to kick my butt the whole time. I'm like, I want you guys to look so strong. Like you're gonna murder me. You're gonna murder me in the ring. That's how bad it is. And that's what we did. That's what we did every time because I love Noble House.
Oh yeah, I think just since we're doing this little sidebar, I think the madness with the duck.
Yeah.
Oh, with Bato and Noble House. Oh my goodness, yeah, that feud was just
All right,
yeah,
something I want to hear about someday.
Oh yeah, but we still got more to cover in this one. So yeah, we'll get into that. Oh yeah, but now here we go. This has to be a man of few words.
It's Tembatsu. He is a man of few words.
I like that nickname.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one
gets his point across. It only takes him, a couple of quick sentences, but Tembatsu lets you know. So he talks about he's going to become a 4 millionaire, and he's maybe he'll buy a lot of fancy umbrellas or a lot of umbrellas for his fancy drinks.
Yes.
or maybe he'll just buy Solomon Ying and Ezekiel Crane.
Nice.
So I read that and I'm like, are you allowed to say that? But I'm like, I don't know.
Oh,
But
Timbatsu. Oh.
Timbatsu, at least, he's not you know what? Never mind. I'm not even gonna open up that can of worms. But I ultimately decided, I'm like, I don't think Timbatsu meant anything. I think he just
No.
meant like, maybe I'll buy them. So,
Yeah.
so, but yeah,
Just pay them off like the $1 million man. Like here you,
yes,
there you go.
yes,
There
that's
you
what we're
go.
going with. So next we have what easily has to be what, like, the wow face. Obviously, the wow face 2019. So this is the trash talk that gave me the biggest wow face reaction. I'm like, what?
No
So
way.
yeah, no doubt. Uh young Gray Crow is in the ring. He's celebrating his win. Ezekiel Crane comes into the ring, hands him his title. When Joe Kona and Tonga Ming come running out and attack them both, Joe Kona is beating Tonga with a chair. Joe puts Crane's wrist in a chair and stomps on it. And it appears that he breaks his wrist. He breaks the wrist of a man in a wheelchair.
Ah,
Uh, so
no, say it ain't so.
I can't help it. I have to say it is so.
Ah,
Solomon Ying comes running out to try and make the save. And, Solomon Ying, he's a big dude. He's muscly. He's got abs where I don't have places. He gets crushed with a chair, knocks him out. So the royal family stands tall, and Joe Kona mouths to the camera, "I told you all we were done playing around." And I'm
oof.
like, "Yep, they ain't playing around because they
Oh no,
just laid them out."
and they came back with a vengeance because they got their, both of them got
Yeah,
regionals. So my
regionals. Yeah,
goodness.
and I'm like, "Ooh, they are not playing around. They mean business."
Ah, you
So
know
that's
what?
that's a big wow.
We mentioned, you place your targets and you cast your net or whatever you want to call it. But, the Ezekiel Crane, faction came in and they cast a huge net, just with their slogan alone, "We are all Ezekiel Crane." And I don't think the royal family likes that. I don't think
No,
the.
well, young Grey Crow had some pretty inflammatory things to say about Joe Kona. So he kind of baited him a few times, and Joe said they're not messing around. They felt disrespected. So this one heated up fast.
Yes, it did.
It's like slow burn, slow burn, slow burn. Too much heat.
Boom, boom.
So yeah. Um, this is definitely one of the ones I'll be watching through the summer. Uh, we
I
know a little
mean,
bit more about Joe Kona than we know about Jan Greycrow, so I'll be definitely really interested in seeing kind of the layers that we learn about Greycrow in this feud with Kona. I'm excited.
oh yeah, I think this is one that you and I had mentioned early on, or in that one episode that we had. Just seeing these two managers go at it. Definitely two people that haven't really ever gone back and forth. So just watching them ignite, and yeah, like you said, this one ignited quick, isn't it? Whew.
Yeah. Like what? Okay.
Yes.
So get a nice little message from the Quebec Hitman. He welcomes Valinaria. He mentions, Valinaria won the United Nations title. He's definitely a worthy inclusion into the group. And then he lets the Dead Rabbits know that the wait is over. And so the first match, happened at the pay per view, and he should be prepared to go down hard.
Mm.
And I think the Dead Rabbits are as good of a tag team as anybody, but they had a rough first match, and that's all I'll say.
Oh, and I mean, uh, Quebec Hitman was on this cycle. I mean, he brought home that
That's true.
Rumble. So yeah, that's
Yeah. Quebec
yeah.
Hitman. Oh, okay. I was being goofy. I was wondering if he won another Triple Crown, but that was Reaper and Arya who won the tag titles. So first time for that. Arya and Reaper winning tag.
Oh,
Something different.
nice.
Yeah. So our final one, good a one as any to end on in the match to end all matches. We get some words from Aaron McFleece as he prepares to face Rick Rancher. Also, no Rick Rancher trash talk. So my good buddy, my good pal, no Rick Rancher trash talk. We miss you. We want to see Rick Rancher trash talk.
He was probably focused on the Rumble. He wanted to really bring it home.
Yes, he must have been. So, all kidding aside, this is a good chance for me to remind folks that, I understand as much as I want to see stuff. I understand life gets in the way, things get busy, people get busy. And certainly, I think that was the case with Rick Rancher this cycle. So, hey, we're all having fun here, I hope. But, sometimes life is what life is, and you got to take care of it. So, I appreciate all the things that people are able to do. That said, Aaron McFleece comes out and to a mixed reaction, which makes sense given his recent, kind of ambiguousness.
Yes.
Am I using that correctly?
Yes.
So he talks about hopefully being able to win $4 million and how far that would go to restore his monetary wealth, right? But he said more than the money, he's lost his edge. And so this is how he's going to get it back. He's going to get it back by beating Rick Rancher because either he's good enough or he's not. And then he kind of gets lost in thought and that, and he drops his mic and he just leaves. And the crowd really doesn't know how to react to that. So we'll see what happened at the pay-per-view. I don't want to give it away, but we'll see where the result of the pay-per-view leads Aaron McFleece from here. I definitely think this is going to be another interesting storyline for the summer. So Aaron McFleece's arc of losing his wealth, facing his best friend, losing to his best friend in the main event of the biggest show of the year, and then calling out Rick Rancher. Pretty big story arc. So kudos to him.
Oh yeah, no, I think we mentioned. I think this is going to be the highlight of this summer. I mean, obviously that and the best of 7 between the Quick Kill and Dead Rabbits. I mean, those two right there.
No doubt.
You add that to the Ezekiel Crane arc that we got. You add that to just the royal family coming on strong now. And then what I think is going to be the one of the another one of those hit the stop button and rewind is of course CC DeVille, who is him and Akbar can never be overlooked.
Right. I really think we're at this point now where like we have so many good people and so many good wrestlers, but it's not so much that you can't consume it all, right? Like you can appreciate it if you like that sort of thing, and I do, obviously. But like we have so much good stuff going on and all these good characters doing all this all these good characters doing all of this really interesting stuff.
I mean, we just mentioned all those feuds right now that we got, and that still leaves us with the Joneses. It leaves us with Philippe Rousseau and Antoine Martin. It leaves us with Double Dutch. I mean, there's still so much more.
Right.
Sugar High,
characters. Sugar High, Valen and Naul, Mason and Masanobu. I mean, there are so many people.
Yeah, I kid you not. Yeah, I mean it's tough to
like the 92 Rumble. Those of you who are fans of long ago or wrestling, like I look at the 92 Rumble as the culmination and included so many of the biggest names of that era. I feel like we're in a 92 Rumble era right now. You know what I mean? Like we just have so much good stuff going on and so many good people. So I couldn't ask for anything more.
Yeah, no, it's if you're we say it time and time again, if you're really looking for an angle based with ton of characters that are developed, this is definitely the cream of the crop, in the bronze for sure. I mean,
Shout out to Macho Man Randy Savage. Cream of the crop.
cream of the crop, man.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. My last word, I think we're getting ready to sign this one off. And if that's the case, my last word I want to say, if you're in a feud, keep up the good work. All the feuds going right now are awesome. If you're not in a feud, try and find somebody else who's not in a feud, because all these people who are not in feuds are excellent characters, and I would love to see them get into something. If you're not in a feud and you don't know who to challenge, hit me up. Hit me up on Facebook. Hit up the board. I'll be happy to see if I can pair people off, because there are lots of good characters. I'm not sure what I'm doing moving forward with my characters, so hey, somebody can beat up Naul.
What? No.
Yeah. It'll take a 2-on-1, I bet, because Naul is pretty awesome. But,
I like that.
So, I am definitely looking forward to the UNL summer. And, I'm sorry, amendment, not my last thing. As posted on the Facebook group and will be in your 33 bulletin, I got some special stuff going for Psycho 34. I hope you all don't mind.
How did we forget that for the commissioner one? I'm glad you remembered right now. Look at you.
Here we are. It's a little late on my side. I've had a few good beverages, but I'm still ready to go. I feel like I'm doing the Hulk Hogan muscle pose right now. I feel good.
Trucking away.
Good, brother. Give me Andre. I'll slam him in front of 174 million people in the Silver Dome.
Nice.
To celebrate the 2-year anniversary, in Cycle 34, which is not a bonus scrub cycle, but in Cycle 34, the UNL will offer double the regular matches at any amount.
Nice.
Which means if you say take a match deal, you get 40 regular matches and 20 scrubs instead of 20 regular matches and 20 scrubs. Any amount of matches that you would normally pay for, like say, you are feeling amazingly ambitious and you would take a double match deal, right? Normally, a $24 double match deal is 54 matches and 40 scrubs for $24. On Cycle 34, you would get 108 matches plus 40 scrubs for the $24. So the more you spend...
Now, can you fight a scrub twice?
I don't think you can fight a scrub twice, but I have seen in my experience that the IWA will give you a win if you pay for matches above and beyond the number of scrubs there are.
Oh, gotcha.
That makes sense. Yes. So the IWA will grant you that win, but you can't beat the same scrub twice. If that makes sense. You can essentially pay for the win. But what I would say is, if any person, not me, of course, is eccentric enough to do a double match deal in Cycle 34 and get 108 matches plus 40 scrub matches, we do have an absorbent number of scrubs in the UNL. I designed it as so. We have, let's see, it looks like 60.
Nice.
We have 60 scrub wrestlers in the UNL. So
nice. So we can 60, do the 54 for each.
Right. I mean,
nice.
So 60 scrubs should grant, 2 wrestlers that amount, plus your regional titles, of course. So just laying it out there. Any case, the point is, even if you do a minimum, right, the 6 matches for $5, now you get 12 matches for $5, which is, a pretty good increase. So double the number of matches at any amount. But then what Cycle 34 will also do is give every manager 2 free matches for every 10 cards. So if Cycle 34 has 100 cards, each manager will get 20 free matches.
Nice.
And the thing is, those 20 free matches, when you use them, will be in the bonus scrub cycle. So if you would take your free matches and do a match deal, now you're going to get 40 scrub matches instead of 20, and you're going to get all these free matches from cycle 34.
Man, I like those deals that you get that extra, but I just got to remember to
boom.
focus.
You have to make sure you mention them. The IWA is not going to give them to you unless you mention what they're for. But
yes.
I was pretty happy with those. And a little behind the scenes, when I emailed the IWA, I pitched 4 ideas to them, because I like to pitch more than I'm going to get, right? So I pitched 4 ideas to them, and I said, hey, any of these I can do. Any amendments you might want to make, let me know. Obviously, whatever I can get. And they messaged me back, and they're like, you can do number 1 and number 4. I hope that getting 2 of the 4 deals is good for the 2-year anniversary. And I'm like, oh, Kim. Kim makes me laugh sometimes. So I thought that was pretty funny. So shout out to Kim. Excellent stuff. I hope getting 2 of the deals is good for the 2-year anniversary. And I'm like, yes, it is. Thank you very much.
Yes.
So hopefully these deals, I like free matches. I hope everybody else likes free matches. So
now I was gonna say, I was like, oh, well, I've never told them that we have these shows and this and that, but that's right, they do get printed on the bulletin that we do have a YouTube. So, shout out if you are listening.
Yeah. I don't know that they listen. I will say I shared with them the IWA Global show I did with Jake sometime last year, and they did message me back and say they enjoyed it. So, and they mentioned something specifically from the show that made me believe that they actually did listen to it. So,
oh, nice.
I don't know if they make a point of listening to all of our shows, but I did share that one with them. Jake and I did logos, like the IWA, league logos or whatever, our top 10 and our worst choices and stuff. And so, so the IWA said, I'd be interested in, listening to that. And so I'm like, okay. So I sent him the link, and, they apparently listened. So if you are listening, thank you for all that you do. Ignore all the complaints that we make. Because at the end of the day, we love this crazy game, and we're still playing a play-by-mail wrestling game in 2019. So
hey.
It must be doing something right.
Yeah.
So hopefully everybody enjoys those deals for the 2-year anniversary. I can't believe we're at celebrating 2 years of the UNL.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I don't want to get all mushy, but the UNL is like, my brainchild, my baby. I had help from lots of individuals at the beginning. You know who you are. I appreciate all that you did. But the UNL, like, this is the league that I created, So it's pretty cool to me that we made it 2 years, that it's doing well, that people seem to enjoy it. Yeah.
Oh,
it's a good feeling.
So, definitely something to be proud of. And if time is if time is that ultimate tester, you're definitely working your way to that into those upper echelons of commit. Because I can name a few of the old commissioners that have done it for like year through.
Mm-hmm.
But I think just the way it's been done, sir, in this league particular is just. Shout out to the the structure here. I've heard of other back in the days. I remember hearing of different leagues, and I just don't think the structure was not from what I've had heard. I hear of the trash talk, and okay, great trash talk, but the full just the full structure of this league and the way the trash talk lends itself into the commissioner titles, and yeah, brother, yeah, this is one of those keepers.
Well, thank you.
Now, Is anything else we want to add to this one? I know we remembered at the last minute that one. We got all our questions. We got everything out of this one.
Yes, I believe we did. So
Nice. So keep that trash talk up, associates. If you're not trash talking this cycle, you're getting fired. You get fired. Oh no,
106, 107 will be
easy,
open.
easy to your contracts are gonna be toast. So you guys better pick up the slack. Oh man. But no, we'll go ahead and sign this one off. You've been listening to Commissioner Anderson and myself, IWA Flip, here at Interfed Radio. Till next time, take care, guys.